I didn't even end up using my planner for anything in September because I planned for September in mid-August when school started, and so I actually planned for September like the first week of school or a few days before school started, and I didn't really know how long things would take me or how long doing modules for specific classes would take, and I just didn't really know what the workload was like. I didn't know how much I would need to study for each class, and just in general I just didn't know my schedule yet. So I couldn't really use September because the schedule that I made for myself didn't line up with how my classes were and how long things actually took me to do. So it was really inaccurate even by like the second or third week of school. So I basically trashed it in early September and started just using the Apple calendars on my MacBook, my phone, and honestly the Reminders app. I really like the Reminders app for school. Maybe I can do a video on that sometime, but I have a reminder list for each class, and at the beginning of the week I go in and I put in, certain like subtasks. Like for example, if I have an authoritarian politics module, that usually contains a lecture and some reading and sometimes an assignment. So then I'll put that in there, each one of those subtasks to do on Monday. And so I'm able to do most of my work for both authoritarian and local politics on Monday. And that was not something I was expecting, which is one reason why my September to-do list and whatnot in my planner were just completely inaccurate, because the modules don't really take me very long. I can easily get them done in just a Monday, and then that frees up a day later in the week to study for those classes. And so that's one thing that I learned was don't plan too far ahead, especially at the beginning of the school year, because you won't know how long classwork will take you or really what's expected of you in that class. So what I'm doing here is I'm just going on the icon pages, which is what my school uses to get our course material to us, because I'm currently an online student, and I'm just putting in major assignments such as exams and papers and whatnot into my main monthly spread, and then in just a minute I will be transferring that to my weekly spreads, as well as putting in stuff like class times and modules and some general just when I should be studying, when things are due, that kind of stuff. Like I said, I'm a big fan of the Reminders app and the Apple Calendar, so I'm keeping most of my personal stuff on there unless it's something that's really important, like getting my ID renewed or a doctor's appointment, which I'll probably add that stuff in later just so it's not in this video, because I think that's a little TMI. But basically I like keeping my personal stuff and school stuff separate, so personal stuff really just stays in my online calendar and my Reminders app. One of the reasons why I kind of keep personal stuff or daily tasks out of my paper planner is because that stuff can change, because school really is very important to me, it should be to most college students, and I've noticed that sometimes I can kind of put off some personal stuff. Like for example, as I'm filming this video, I'm planning for a trip, and that stuff I can really do on the weekends or when I have spare time. It's not as high a priority as studying for an exam or getting an assignment turned in or doing the reading for a class. So I like having that in my reminders. And when something really is important, like for example getting my dog's nails clipped or setting up an appointment for my glasses, then I can flag those as higher priority and know that I need to get it done during the work day, during the work week, etc. Really, the only personal stuff that I put in my paper planner is stuff that is pretty regular and that I would do anyways. It's just kind of like, hey, you have to do this on this day and it's going to take some time. So stuff that I include is like scheduling some posts for work, or mopping or vacuuming, or just cleaning my kitchen, that kind of stuff that I do anyways, but I know it might take some time, so I want to kind of remind myself, hey, you're going to be doing this thing like cleaning or whatnot or work for an hour or two on this day, so you can't overload yourself too much with studying or whatever that morning or whenever I'll be doing those activities. I used to be really concerned about how my planner or bullet journal, etc., looked aesthetically. Like, if I posted this on Instagram or Pinterest or whatever, would it get likes? And for me, that wasn't very helpful because I really don't like a lot of clutter on my to-do list or in my planner. Stickers and lots of cute aesthetic like colors and whatnot are really fun and they're nice to look at, but for me personally, I just find them very distracting and overwhelming. So for me, that doesn't really help me at all. But I think for some people, maybe it can be motivating and it can make getting menial tasks that are kind of boring done and just planning more fun. So I definitely get the appeal, but they're not for everyone, and I urge you to not to be too concerned about how it looks to other people. For example, I really like stickers quite a lot, but I don't really include them anymore because I feel like they're kind of a waste and they just take up space because my planner's not really that big. And I also just, I just feel like aesthetics, it's fun, but it just makes it very cluttered for me personally. I really am trying to work on my handwriting because that's one thing, nice handwriting, which is considered aesthetic and cute and whatnot, that actually does really matter. So you're gonna see some of my writing here in a second, and it's definitely not the most aesthetic or the cute or the neatest handwriting, but another reminder, as long as you can read your own handwriting, especially if you're in a hurry, that's really the only thing that matters. So I decided to include major assignments and when they're due, when I have class, and when I should be doing modules, etc. But I did not break down tasks such as those in a module like reading or smaller assignments, and I did not include much of personal stuff because I can just add that later, and I also did not include a study routine really because really that kind of depends on the day or depends on the week, and it's easier to schedule that at the beginning of the week or just kind of feel it out throughout the week because sometimes certain assignments or modules take different amounts of time, and sometimes different exams and different classes need more time to study for them.